טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is, how sweet it is to be as one together. And what it was the gift we can hold forever. Hine ma tov ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד. As one together, and what it was the gift we can hold forever. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im shevet achim gam yachad. מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
Extra time to take in that new song, I guess.
And here we are.
Now we're a minute behind.
Right.
David, Rabbi Wolpe, I married those two, that notion of Hine ma tov, how good it is to be together, with I think the message of Lo tov heyot adam levado.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that is the first thing that the Torah says about human beings, is it's not good to be alone. Mm-hmm. And we are and aren't alone now. I mean, we're connecting through all sorts of wonderful ways. And as people will hear, we're going to have beautiful tributes to mothers from a variety of people. And so just as we keep our parents with us even when they're gone, distance is not always an obstacle to feeling someone in your heart. And so I hope that everybody here feels on this Shabbat that we are together, even though we are apart, and that we have those with us, mothers who are here and who are gone, even though obviously we would want things differently. But part of living is learning how to hold things close that sometimes aren't close, and learning how to lose and keep and cherish despite the fact that we can't always be in each other's presence. This is what the psychologists call a secure attachment. You love people even when they are far from you, and you feel them even when they are far from you. And that's a legacy, I think, of our mothers.
Amen. Amen. So let's play this tribute to our mothers.
Yeah.
Feliz Día de las Madres. Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of our great grandmas, our fantastic moms, and our sweet mommies to be.
This is the first year that I am celebrating Mother's Day as a grandmother. This is Micah. And it's great to be a grandma. What can I say? Life is good. He's wonderful. Brings so much joy to the world. And love my kids for bringing new kids into this world.
Happy Mother's Day, Grandma.
Happy Mother's Day, Brenda.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for always taking care of absolutely everybody in your life.
We appreciate everything you do for us and for everyone.
Continue to amaze us.
Happy Mother's Day
to our amazing moms, Heidi and Debbie,
and the amazing mothers of Sinai Temple.
Hey Mom, happy Mother's Day. We really appreciate everything that you do, and especially during this time, you're so important for us. I love you so much, and I wish you the best Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Amongst the many things you taught me is the value of community, and I'm so happy that we're part of this community together. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Mom, we miss you every minute of every day. Our love for you has no bounds. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to the mother who has taught me everything from speaking up and advocating for myself to supporting my friends in need.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You've taught us so much, just how to be resourceful, how to navigate the lines at Disneyland, of course, and how to ask for help and also give help too. So thank you for everything. I'm sorry we can't be there with you in person for Mother's Day, but we love you. We'll call you, of course.
Happy Mother's Day to my amazing Ima. I just want to tell you I love you so much, and I want to thank you for everything that you have done for me. Thank you for showing me what it means to be a great mom. I could only pray that I could do the same for my own children. Sending you a big hug.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I am so grateful for you today and every day, and I am so lucky to have you as a role model as I embark on my own motherhood journey. I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to my amazing mom. You're my role model in so many ways. I love you. You're my best friend, best mom, best grandma.
Bye-bye.
That's sweet, huh?
It's very sweet. Yeah. And I know we're about to sing a song that in a certain generation everyone knew, which is My Yiddishe Mama, which is roughly translated My Jewish Mother. And when you asked me to introduce it, I wasn't sure how to introduce it, but then I went looking, and in the poetry, in Yiddish poetry, one of the great Yiddish writers of the 20th century was Chaim Grade, and he has a poem, My Mother, and I thought I would just read the first verse of the poem, and that would be a perfect lead-in to My Yiddishe Mama. This is My Mother from Chaim Grade. He was born in 1910. The cheeks collapsed and the eyes half shut. My mother listens as her knees sigh. The whole morning under the winter sky, she ran about to every market. So let us now at the gate of the wall sleep through the night. And her hand cries. A bird gets too exhausted from fluttering about as its wings rise and fall, and her head sinks down. But my mother flicks the daydream off like a tree shaking off the rain. Her hand taps at the freezing air and stays there, stretched out.
Beautiful.
My Yiddishe Mama.
My Yiddishe Mama, I need her more than ever now. My Yiddishe Mama, I'd like to kiss her wrinkled brow. I'd like to hold her hand never cared for fashion style. Her jewels and her treasures, she found them in her baby's smile. Oh, I know that I owe what I am today to that dear little lady who's gone away, to that wonderful Yiddishe mama, mama. Of mine. Happy Mother's Day.
Adam and David Moss, they're obviously brothers. Their mom was still is an amazing singer, and just so great to see them sing a song from even before their mother's generation, and that was not my suggestion that they sing it. They said, beautiful. Well, how about if we do a Yiddishe Mama? And I said, beautiful. Yeah, and you know it? Yeah, it's kind of great.
I wonder how, if you're a smart and famous and talented actress, you're dealing with this pandemic and your children. That's a question I would really like to ask. I wonder if there's some mother that could possibly explain to us what it is to be so well known and so brilliant and deal with the pandemic. Craig, do you have any idea if that such a thing could be?
Well, I wanted to ask my wife. I did ask my wife, and she said, I'm there on many counts, but I'm not an actress. So yeah, I asked Mayim Bialik. She's literally a physicist, a scientist.
There you go.
And she's the quintessential Yiddishe Mama, I think.
Fits it perfectly. Wonder what she has to say.
We're about to find out.
Hi, this is Mayim Bialik, and I'm in my kitchen, which, as a mom, is where I spend most of my time, I think. One of the interesting things about the situation in the world right now is that it's really emphasized, even more than before, how much of my parenting is about being open and being flexible. I tell my kids all the time when we're stumped about something or when we're in conflict about something, like, I've never done this. I've never been your parent today with you at this age and me with what's going on in my life and the world. So we're going to figure it out together. And that's not to say that I don't have a plan or structure or a way that I intuitively know how to do things and people that I reach out to when I'm totally stumped. But parenting is really, it's a collaborative effort that we do with, obviously, with the people that we're parenting, but also with all the parts of ourselves that still need integrating. So there are times when I definitely do not behave the way my higher self would behave, and that's also part of the process. I'm not a perfect parent. I'm doing my best, and I tell my kids that I'm doing my best, and I don't have to be a perfect mom. I just have to be enough mom for my kids on any given day.
So this is the first time, I think, in all the years that I've been a rabbi that I've given the sermon sitting down, or at least when I was healthy and sitting down. And I'm doing it in part because Craig said, why don't you sit on the couch? But also because my mother was a very bizarre combination of tradition and modernity. If you walked into the synagogue and she didn't like the way that you were dressed, if she thought that it was inappropriate, boy, you would know. Her looks were eloquent. But I remember she caused a scandal when we first came to the synagogue in Philadelphia, where my father was a rabbi, by deciding after the first week or two that she wasn't going to wear a hat. And at that time, everybody wore hats to synagogue. And when she came to Sinai with my father to see Friday Night Live, after they'd heard about it, I was afraid. I couldn't imagine my traditional mother listening to a band on the Shabbat, because I grew up in a synagogue with no music except for a choir, just human voices. And I thought, oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble now. And we did the service, and I came down afterwards, and she was hitting my father with her elbow and saying, "Why didn't you do this?" My poor father, who never could have had Friday Night Live in the synagogue that he grew up in, even if he had wanted to. And I realized that our parents are always struggling between the world that they came from and the world that they are launching us into. And that all of them make different accommodations with that. And this is a particularly, of course, tough time, as you just heard from Mayim Bialik, to figure out what you say to your children as they enter a different world. But one thing has changed that is wonderful and beautiful. And that's why when I was asked for a title for this sermon, I just called it Imahot, mothers. Because when I was growing up, in our prayers, we mentioned our forefathers, but we didn't mention our mothers. We said Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, but we didn't say Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. When I was growing up, the opportunities for the voices of mothers were primarily through their children. Now, their voices resound through the world. I wonder what my mother and grandmother and great-grandmother might have done with different kinds of opportunities. And I'm so grateful that my daughter will have those kinds of opportunities, because the world is so different. When we look around the world and we see, for example, who's working on vaccines and viruses and so on, it doesn't surprise us. It doesn't in any way startle anybody that there are women scientists working along with male scientists and men working along with women, that one might be the boss of the lab and the other working in the lab, because the world is a changed world. And that's a beautiful thing. And it required generations and generations and generations of mothers to make their voices heard until the world listened. And it still needs to listen more. Nonetheless, we should realize that in the Jewish tradition, the first 6 years of every child's education in the Talmud was given over to the mother. And now that we know indisputably that the formative years of a human being's life are those early years, I think in a very deep way, more than we ever understood, we are all the products of our mothers. I think in a deep way, I inherited that woman who didn't like it when people didn't dress well, but liked it that she could decide not to wear a hat, who thought that having a service with a band was a good thing and a progressive thing. And so I thought, even though you stand up in the presence of a parent, I would do something a little different in honor of my mother today and sit down for the sermon, as so often we sat around a table and tried to make her laugh and praised what she gave us to eat and listened to all the stories that our family had to tell. We are blessed, all of us, with all the legacies that our mothers have given us. They're complex. They're not always straightforward. We struggle with them and grapple with them. But that's what it means to live. And remember that the very first mother, Chava, the Bible tells us, means the mother of all living. It is our mothers who give us life in all its complexity and difficulty and wonder and joy. We are so grateful to them, so grateful to their memory. God bless you, Mom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You bring us here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You keep us here. Shehechianu, you keep us alive. Mekiyamanu, sustaining our lives. Vehigianu, lazman hazeh, helping us reach this day. Shehechianu, you keep us alive. Vekiyamanu, sustaining our lives. Vehigianu, lazman hazeh.
Ribono Shel Olam, dear God, at this time we remember those mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, friends who are no longer with us. This week we mourn the passing of Nahid Parmini, wife of Benjamin of blessed memory, mother of Parvin, Jaleh, Gila, Parto, and Farhad. We mourn the passing of Sarah Davis, mother of Edward, Shirley, Billfield, and Judy Davis. And we mourn the passing of Perry Leff, husband of Abby and father of Nancy of blessed memory, of Jonathan, of Andrew, and of Stephen. And the following yortzites. Please rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah. V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'vyomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mebarach v'olam u'lomei omaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit alal shemei d'kudisha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God grant comfort and healing to the hearts of all who mourn. And let us all say, Amen.
Amen. Amen. So we're going to do a Misha Berach now. This is typically a prayer for healing. But we're going to do it a little differently. Rabbi, why don't you set up who who we're dedicating this Misha Berach to. This is for healers.
Yes. The Misha Berach is for healing for people who are sick. But in our time, as you know, it's not only a function of people who are sick, but the many, many people who are risking themselves, their wellness, and sometimes even their lives to take care of all of those who have fallen ill. So we decided that this Misha Berach would not only be for those who are ill, but it would be for all of those who need to stay well, who are doing such wonderful and blessed work by taking care of the rest of us. Misha Berach.
And please add, if you know other healers, add your name, their names in the scroll.
Sheberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yevarech V'Yirapeh Et HaCholim Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yevarech V'Yirapeh Et HaCholim Elna Rifana Elna Rifana Elna Rifana Elna Rifana
Put me on, Karen. Cantor, it's your turn for a little blessing. Your cup runneth over.
My turn for a little blessing. As I mentioned,
the Kiddush.
Oh, the Kiddush. Thank God you're not putting me on the spot again. All right. We ask everyone to please rise as we join together in Vishamru. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת, וינפש שבת, וינפש שבת, וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. על כן ברך אדוני יום השבת ויקדשהו סברי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. לחיים.
I think we need a little motzi. Oh, David, what are you, Rabbi? Did you want to say something?
I do. You know,
all right, come on.
I want to say this. First of all, yes, we do need a little motzi. But when we see Nicole and Erez and everybody talking about the mothers that they remember, I also want to celebrate all the mothers that all of us are lucky enough to have our children mothered by. I know that my daughter has a wonderful mother. I know that your kids, Craig, have a wonderful mother. I know that Rabbi Guzik is a wonderful mother. I know that Cantor Feldman is lucky enough to have his son have a wonderful mother. And all I know is none of us, I know us guys, we're all nice guys. None of us could do what our children's mothers are able to do with the magic and the love that they bring. And I want to celebrate them as well as celebrating our own mothers, because we're all very lucky that we have such gifted and loving mothers for our children.
Amen. To the health of our mothers.
To the health of our mothers. All of them.
Little motzi. Rabbi Guzik?
Rabbi Wolpe. Amen to that. Before we do the motzi, we also want to thank the Fight family for this beautiful Shabbat live service. Thank you to the Fights for their ongoing support. We miss you dearly, and Shabbat Shalom to you. And of course, Shabbat Shalom and greetings from our president, Jamie Berman, our executive director, Howard Lessner, our entire board of directors, and our staff. We wish you a Shabbat Shalom and a happy Mother's Day. Ready for some motzi?
Let's do it. Fresh challah. Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Ribbon Shalom, Master of the Universe, may our mothers, may God's motherly presence of the Shekhinah continue to embrace us. Amen.
Amen.
If you enjoyed the program or have any feedback, please let us know. We always like to hear from you. And with a little niggin. Hi, da 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 diggy da 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 hey. Hi da 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 diggy da da. Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Kodesh, SinaiTemple.org. Hey, Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Kodesh. Don't forget to teach your mama. Hi, diggy da diggy da diggy da 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 da. Hi da 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 diggy da diggy da diggy da. 3, 2, 1. We're out of here.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.